Welcome back to Wake Up America Weekend. I'm Sarah Williamson alongside Michael Grimm. Now, Title 42 is expected to expire next month, and as the end looms, up to 40,000 migrants have gathered on the Mexican side of the southern border, awaiting their cross into the country.
And joining us for more is President of the Border Security Coalition, wife of a former Border Patrol agent and former Republican congressional candidate, Irene Armendariz-Jackson, and former Director of Special Operations, DEA, Derek Maltz. Welcome to both of you. Good morning.
Good morning.
As Sarah just said, literally 40,000 migrants just waiting to cross the border after constantly being duped by internet scams, thinking they'll gain asylum. You know, I'm going to pass this one to you, Derek. What are we looking at here? You know, should we be concerned? What else is coming over the border?
Well, thank you for having me. We have a national security emergency. We have a fentanyl crisis like we've never seen in the history of the country. I mean, yesterday you saw the announcement by the Department of Justice, a global announcement on indictments of the leadership of the Sinaloa cartel, Los Chapitos, Chapo Guzman's kids. But they are killing more Americans than we've ever seen in the history of this country. Every 5 or 8 minutes, depending on the stats that you listen to, kids are dying in their bedrooms in the country. We have 1 million+ gotaways that have come into this country. We have no idea who these people are, where they came from, what their plans are, who sent them, because we have a wide open border. And our poor Border Patrol agents and CBP are inundated with processing of migrants every day. They can't do their job and secure America.
And yet they say the border is secure.
Oh, the administration's completely tone deaf on this issue. We've spoken about that.
It's secure. But anyway, Biden's initial attempts to end Title 42 were met with a lot of pushback. But now that the national emergency response to COVID has officially ended, Irene, I want to come to you on this. Do you think that something should be put in place of Title 42? How could that be covered?
Well, you know, we've seen this administration over and over not take priority in protecting Americans. So are we surprised? Absolutely not. Let me tell you what I'm surprised about. I'm surprised at the fact that we're 3.5 months into holding the House and nothing has been done. The Senate has held hearings. The House has held hearings. And what do we have to show for it? Nothing. A lot of wasted time and money in bringing all these congressional elected officials down to the border. You know, the Biden administration can deny all it wants, but here on the border, we see it every day. This is the way of life for us. And being the wife of a retired Border Patrol agent who still has a lot of relationships within the Border Patrol, it is devastating. And this doesn't only affect the Border Patrol, it affects their families. Most agents, the majority of them are actually minorities, especially Hispanics, and they take everything that they get on the border. This is a health crisis. We've seen an uprise in diseases that we have not seen in decades. So Title 42 is meant to protect Americans, but we see that this government over and over has never taken a priority in protecting Americans. So why are we surprised?
You know, the more I hear about this, Derek, we talked about the fentanyl, you know, it's just pouring across the border. And, you know, the Biden administration now is designating fentanyl with I think it's called xylazine, you know, an emerging threat. I think it's well beyond emerging. I mean, again, is this a matter of the administration being tone deaf? What's going on here?
Well, what's going on is just read the news. Like, for example, this week, there were 5 deaths and 12 poisoned in a 24-hour period in Kalamazoo, Michigan. There were also 5 poisoned in Boulder, Colorado. First week in April, 18 dead. 18 dead in Milwaukee from all this bad batches of the fentanyl mixed with xylazine, which again is a flesh-eating drug. It's an animal tranquilizer coming from these labs in China, inundating our communities. The last week in March, there were 40 that were poisoned in Onondaga County, New York. So every city in America is getting hit with this poisonous stuff that's inundating our streets, and the government is just talking. And I agree with the other guests. I mean, we've had hearings, we've had visits to the border. Where the hell is the action? In my opinion, based on my years of experience, we must destroy and decimate the cartel's command and control infrastructure, even if that means using U.S. military. We want to work with the Mexican government, and we want to go down there, and we want to have a cooperative effort, but we have to destroy their capabilities. Because right now, the law enforcement solution alone is not good enough.
Absolutely. Irene and Derek, thank you so much for your time on this, and I really appreciate your insight on this. Michael,
this
Derek,
is a tough subject. I mean, you can
really
hear the passion in their voices because it's a lot of them are young Americans dying literally every day. And you hear, tranquilizers for animals.
Flesh eating.
Yeah, this is where we're at. This is unfortunately where we're at in America. And it looks like every facet of our life, whether it's our national security, foreign policy, drugs on the street, crime rising, shootings, I'm concerned for where our country is.
Absolutely. And a lot of the time as well, these young people don't know that they're taking fentanyl.
Of course not.
As well.
Of course
not.
So
this is the problem, and it's so sad to see. Anyway, we're going to go out for another break.